Welcome to the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Getting set for the AFL on ESPN. Moments ago, both head coaches addressed their teams.
Stay together. Okay, it's loud. Things happen. It's arena football. All right. Make sure all the good things are happening for us, though. And we can make that happen. All right, we can. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the hard work. Good bounce back. Good practice all week. Let's get after it. All right. Have fun. Have fun. All right, let's go. Every time you step on the field, you're better than that man across from you, and you need to show it every play for 60 minutes. We control the outcome of this game. No matter what happens out there, we control it. As long as we go out there and play for 60 minutes, and we fly around for 60 minutes and do our jobs. There's not a team that can beat us in this league, guys, if we go out there and play together. You guys got the towels. We are a family. Let's go show it to them tonight. Come on. Here we go, fellas. Kiss on three. 1, 2, 3, kiss.
AFL on ESPN. Interesting matchup tonight. The 10-2 Philadelphia Soul take on the 2-9 LA Kiss. And LA has won back-to-back games for the first time in franchise history. And last week, one of the greatest upsets in AFL history, taking on the undefeated San Jose SaberCats. And Danny Southwick, in overtime, finds DeMarco Sampson for the game winner. Good evening to everyone. Ari Wolf alongside friend and partner Anthony Herron. And Anthony, the win for LA last week suddenly makes them a legitimate playoff contender. And how surprised were you that they took down the SaberCats?
I was watching the game on ESPN3, and as it was playing out, you could see the confidence of the LA Kiss growing throughout that contest. Plays being made on both sides of the football. You mentioned the back-to-back wins, first time in franchise history. They're looking for the first 3-game winning streak in a huge contest for them tonight.
Fascinating matchup because Philadelphia's quarterback Dan Rodabaugh for the 2013 and 2014 seasons in practice went up against the best middle safety in the AFL in Rayshon Kaiser. Rayshon Kaiser now plays for LA, and these two will be an interesting chess match throughout the night.
And Dan Rodabaugh has been a great arena football quarterback throughout his career, but this season he's put up stratospheric numbers, over 3,400 passing yards, already 80 touchdowns, leading the Arena Football League in passing, but he's got a chess match that will play out throughout the game tonight against one of the all-time greats, Rayshon Kaiser, a future Hall of Famer, already 61 career interceptions. These two guys faced each other in practice, and they are prepared for a great contest tonight.
Should be fun to watch. Now let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Steve Pappen.
I'm here with Coach McMillan. Coach, through the first 9 weeks of the season, you guys kind of struggled. The last 2, it seems like your team's got its swagger back. What's the difference between the first 9 and the last 2?
If I had that answer, we'd be millionaires right now, Steve. But, the guys have just come together. We made a few changes during the break, during that bye week, and we brought in the right pieces. And these guys have really come together as a family right now, and they're players as brothers, and, anything can happen in the second half.
Danny Southwick, your quarterback's making his second start. Second consecutive week, he's facing a pretty good defense. What have your conversations been like throughout the week with him?
Just be a leader. Danny's got to go out there and they take care of that huddle out there. We got a lot of veterans out there. We got a vocal leader in Donovan Rorgan, but it's his huddle. He's got to command it, and those guys got to listen to him.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight. Ari, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Arena football rules of the game. Running clock until the final minute of each half. The field dimensions there in front of you. No punting allowed, no outside stunting or twisting. Ball off the rebound net is alive, and one wide receiver may be in forward motion before the snap. LA wins the toss. They defer, and they will get the ball at the start of the third quarter. There is Clint Dawzell, Hall of Famer as a player, been an outstanding head coach in the Arena Football League for the Philadelphia Soul. They want to get back to the Arena Bowl. That is the standard in Philadelphia. LA Kiss set to kick it off. James Romaine is deep for Philadelphia. Romaine plays it cleanly off the net. Has a seam, breaks a tackle across the 15, across the 20. Still on his feet. A flag is down, and Romaine finally brought down at the LA Kiss 20-yard line.
Taken down by number 90, Logan Harrell. First down in midfield. What about defensive wall, LA Kiss, let's go.
Oldest receiving team, number 15, 10-yard penalty. First down, Philadelphia.
There is Dan Rodabaugh. As Anthony mentioned, leads the AFL in touchdown passes with 80. just 8 interceptions, completing 67% of his passes.
Out of your mind, all right? Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win. Here you go, let's go.
And one of the
First down.
reasons why he's the leader in the clubhouse right now for First Team All-Arena is he's been healthy and has played in every game for the Soul.
Currently the active leader, his 87th consecutive start tonight.
Rodaba with time, going for an all to Marco Thomas, who stopped his route and was looking for a flag. Marco Thomas last year, the AFL wide receiver of the year, and putting together a monster season with Philadelphia. Already 106 catches, 1,248 yards, and 28 touchdowns. And Clint Donzel is a hard guy to please. He said only 2 weeks ago, the light really went on for Marco Thomas, and now can become truly, again, the elite wide receiver in the game.
That's a scary thought for secondaries around the Arena Football League when you think about the numbers that Marco Thomas was already putting up prior to these last 2 games.
Rodaba going deep, and Ryan McDaniel simply fell. He's going up against Rayshon Kaiser. Anthony, take us through your impact players.
We were just mentioning one of them on the offensive side, Marco Thomas, one of the AFL's top receivers, the receiver of the year last season. And on the defensive side, we've already mentioned Rayshon Kaiser, has just been with this team for 3 weeks, already 4 interceptions, and has taken 2 to the house.
He has had an immediate impact, and it feels as though he's given a lot of confidence to the defense. They're 7th in the league in points allowed. Rodaba going deep, wide open, touchdown Soul. Harvey Binford gets behind the defense, 36 yards. Good start for the Soul.
This matchup throughout the night tonight is one that Clint Donzel told us would constantly be within the framework of their offense, trying to focus on attacking the deep middle of the field versus Rayshon Kaiser, because they know with Kaiser in the secondary, the Los Angeles Kiss will feature a lot of man-to-man coverage.
We'll keep it right here. 3 shots down the field for Rodaba. Gets Binford on the 3rd attempt. You see Dan Rodaba there. He's sporting the beard. It's been a team rallying cry. I don't know what you want to call it. I normally associate this with NHL guys, but it's taken over the AFL as well.
Bearing the beard. You mentioned only 8 interceptions, and Clint Donzel told us before the game that he knows there's going to be times where maybe Rayshon Kaiser will guess right, because he's always been known as a guy who undercuts routes throughout his career and is willing to take chances. There, he didn't completely try to undercut a route, but he didn't get into his pedal, and Harvey Binford is a guy who's got the speed to try and defeat Rayshon Kaiser and any DB in the AFL over the top.
Tommy Freevert will kick it off for Philadelphia. Dan Rodaba smiling, touchdown pass, number 81. Really just completely changed his approach to football in the offseason. Lost a lot of weight, decided to spend more time on his craft. Working out well for him in the 2015 season. Ron Scott, that's a loose football, and they're gonna whistle it a touchback. Almost a dangerous moment. So Danny Southwick, journeyman quarterback, 5th year in the AFL, has played for Portland, Cleveland, Chicago, San Jose, Tampa Bay, and now Los Angeles.
Not the biggest arm in the world, but you don't need a lot of arm strength to be successful as an Arena Football quarterback.
Southwick gets it out quickly. Tom Gilson makes the catch, not much room. Matt Salk there, the offense coordinator, talking to Danny Southwick, and they were together in Portland when Matt was the head coach. And I talked to him before the games, and I said, Matt, it seemed that Danny kind of drove you a little crazy last year, and he said he still does.
Former head coach. of the Portland Thunder last season, and Matthew Salk has always been one of the best offensive minds in the AFL. Won an Arena Bowl with the Spokane shot.
They check it down and complete it. It's DeMarco Sampson. Picks up 7 yards. Let's go to Anthony's impact players.
When the LA Kiss have the football, DeMarco Sampson as a wide receiver. He caught that game winner against the San Jose SaberCats last week. And defensively for the Philadelphia Soul, James Romaine, second in the Arena Football League with 9 interceptions. He's manning the middle that Rayshon Kaiser used to.
DeMarco Sampson, look at him go. Breaks another tackle, gets a block, and takes it for 6. Touchdown Kiss.
DeMarco Sampson comes in high motion. Good quick read from Danny Southwick. And this is the type of ability that DeMarco Sampson has. It's why Bob McMillan and this LA Kiss coaching staff have been so excited about him, because he can take the short pass the distance. Not quite as thick as Donovan Morgan, but similar type of route runner.
DeMarco Sampson had a brilliant college career down the road at San Diego State. First team All Mountain West in 2010. Was the 249th pick of the 2011 draft by the Arizona Cardinals. And Danny Southwick is happy to have Sampson on his side. The game winner against San Jose and the first touchdown of the night for the Kiss as we are deadlocked at 7. Arena Football on ESPN is brought to you by the Citi Double Cash Card. Beautiful shot of the Honda Center in Anaheim. Game tied at 7. James Romaine hoping for a chance at a return. He will not get that opportunity, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 5 for Dan Rodabaugh and the Soul offense. As we take a look at the American Conference, Philadelphia comfortable that they will be the #1 seed. There's still plenty of football to go. Philadelphia has 6 games remaining, as does Orlando. But I tell you, any of those teams that make the playoffs could emerge as the American Conference champion.
Without a doubt, while the Philadelphia Soul have had the dominant record, they've had more blowout victories than anyone else in the American Conference. But Orlando, Cleveland, Tampa, Jacksonville, there's some talented teams in that conference.
Tommy Taggart on the carry, and look at Taggart go. The big fella came back healthy a week ago and a huge run there. 25-yard carry.
Well, Tommy Taggart was on Big Ant's Brute Squad last season when he was with the Pittsburgh Power because of his outstanding blocking, but he's got this type of ability. It's what Clint Dolezel continues to remind people throughout the season. He may not be the runner that Derrick Ross is, but no other fullback in AFL history has been, but Tommy Taggart can get it done with the ball in his hands.
Played his college ball in Norman for the Sooners. Rodabaugh all day, and just too much on that throw to Binford. He was wide open. Danny was showing off the arm strength there.
Protection has been fairly solid early in the game so far. You watch him there, he had the huge throwing lane to be able to deliver the football through. It's one of the things that's underrated about the comfort of a quarterback, because you want him to feel like he's protected in the pocket, normally see that cup. But to have that lane, that big throwing window, it's one of the things why you try to see a lot of pass rushes in the AFL condense the pocket so the vision of the quarterback is muddied.
Go on.
Rodabaugh to Binford, and Binford picks up 8 before he's pushed into the near boards. One of the advantages we have in our AFL coverage is access. We will listen in to head coach and quarterback.
Hey fans, this is our house. We're on defense. We're the 9th man. There's no reason in the world their front lines should hear the call from the quarterback because you're making too much noise. Are you ready?
Yes, first out.
screen out here to Ryan McDaniel.
Ronaba, patience. Ryan McDaniel, touchdown sold. 21st receiving touchdown of the season for Ryan McDaniel.
We didn't get to hear the entire play call, but we did hear that he was going to fake the bubble screen there to the side. And bite into the backfield from Rayshon Kaiser. They're using the eyes. They're using the over-aggressive nature of Rayshon Kaiser against him. And again, you know, there was multiple plays on the opening series where they attacked Rayshon Kaiser and he won the matchups, but the odds are in your favor in arena football where you can end up offensively winning those battles.
Philadelphia gets a big chunk of their drive from Tommy Taggart, and they get in the red zone and find Ryan McDaniel for the touchdown.
All right, Kicks fans. How about returning?
Arena Football League action continues tomorrow as the Portland Thunder hosts the Spokane Shock in a Pacific Division matchup. Spokane and Portland tomorrow at 10 p.m. on ESPN2, and watch ESPN. And I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. You want to go to Portland?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm going to have to fly there, though. I don't know how you're going.
Yeah, I'll meet you up there. I'll get there somehow.
I'm leaving on a jet plane, baby.
Got a feeling our friend Sid Bonner might join us.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, let's go to Portland.
The Rose City.
Rayshon Kaiser, the up man. And it's an onside kick from Philadelphia. Loose football. LA had it, lost it. Now it's a fight for it.
That's where things get fun.
I mean, Philadelphia comes out of it with the football. And they're giving it to LA. I don't really understand how Outlaw comes out of there with the ball, and they're giving it to LA.
Well, you would think the official must have ruled that the play was dead, and LA player must have had possession of it, and then Outlaw came in and kind of grabbed it away late. An aggressive call here from Clint Dolezel, deciding to go onside early in the contest. And I think overall there's a couple of different factors with that. You think about the fact that, you know, it's a quarterback in Danny Southwick that has been around the AFL block quite a bit, but he hasn't always had those game reps. Last season, the most game reps that Southwick has had. And so overall, if he's going to struggle anywhere, maybe the red zone is where that happens.
Yeah, Southwick last year, too many interceptions. 17 of them as this ball is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Justin Lawrence, number 9, he's a big guy, fourth-year player out of Oregon State.
Lawrence just works his way up the field. They actually have Lawrence at the MAC position. He's normally playing one of the down linemen. Lawrence came from the MAC there, got into the throwing window.
That's a serious MAC linebacker right there.
All 305 pounds of him.
Second down, Southwick, time, and he underthrows it. There is a flag down. Romaine and Gilson got tangled up at the 5.
Holding defense number 25. After this is the goal.
One of baseball's biggest rivalries renewed. Buster Posey's Giants take on Jock Peterson and the Dodgers. Baseball rules on ESPN. Giants.
They were going with the double screen. Taggart was leaking out to the field side, Smith to the backside.
Holding defense number 3. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They did get Dillon, so they'll move the football into Kiss territory.
It's how I used to coach it. When my defensive lineman could tell the tight end was trying to get up the field, you're either going to let him get a big gain or Just grab him around the shirt collar, and hopefully the official misses it. Well done by the line judge. Saw it, threw the flag.
Block. Block.
Until you engage the offensive lineman for a moment, he tries to snatch and get rid of you.
Screen to McDaniel. And the block does not get made by Outlaw. Victorian gets in there to make the play. Did a real nice job of shedding that block.
He's feisty. Josh Victorian is a feisty player. As he fights off the block, it's one thing to know where the ball's going, but then to be able to knife into the backfield and make that play for no gain. That's impressive.
Dan Rodabaugh so far tonight, 6 for 11, 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Going up against really a whole new look secondary. The 3 guys starting, Kaiser, Victorian, and Scott, none of them started week 1. 2 of them are only appearing in their 4th games with the Soul, Victorian and Kaiser. We have a flag prior to the play. Going to go against the Soul, delay a game.
There's no good reason, especially at this point, to have much miscommunication between this coach and quarterback. Worked together for so long.
We've seen a very composed Clint Dozell so far this evening.
Started to get after Rodabaugh a little bit a couple of snaps ago. He's trying to keep it reined in. He told us before the season he's trying to be a little bit more zen.
Rodabaugh has time and then gets rid of it. The receiver was in the area, Ryan McDaniel. And we will take a listen in to head coach and quarterback. Looks like he's getting tutored right now.
Jeez Louise. Punch left, Z back, 50, Z inside, no post, Z choice.
Really needing to rush from the offensive huddle. Play clock running down. Choice route coming.
Rodabaugh throws. Outlaw wide open. Touchdown Philadelphia. Lonnie Outlaw beats the defense. 20 yards on the scoring strike. Rodabaugh to Outlaw.
Lonnie Outlaw. What essentially ends up being a yo-yo motion, coming from trips, working all the way across the field to the opposite corner, running through the coverage in the eyes of Brayshawn Kaiser, seeing Ryan McDaniel underneath. Again, another situation where Kaiser, his depth, not where you would anticipate it being based off the route combination.
Freevert connects on the extra point. Outlaw's a happy guy. Philadelphia has retaken the lead. It's 28-21. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Dan Rodabaugh, beautiful throw. Kiss, lead by a touchdown. This Father's Day on SportsCenter. After winning an NBA championship, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson reflect on their title run with their fathers. Splash Brothers and Fathers, a Sunday conversation premiering all day tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. That should be very cool. Basketball royalty there. And I do want to apologize going to break. I mistakenly read the score. It's Philadelphia with the lead by a touchdown. LaRon Scott is deep for the kiss. And an excellent kickoff, no chance at a return to Danny Southwick. And the Kiss offense back to work. As you take a look at Dan Rodabaugh. So the beard, there's no trimming of it or trying to, make it look good.
As I've seen the players here in town over the last couple of days, they're very proud of the beards, even after losing last week to Orlando. I mean, it was only the second loss of the season. I asked several of them whether or not they considered shaving the beard. They said no way.
We have a player ejected from the game. Josh Victorian, that is a huge loss. One of their starting defensive backs. And Big Ann, someone's going to have to get a clarification on what happened. I mean, it's a two-handed shove. That usually doesn't get you thrown out.
That's all it was. That's surprising.
A lot of contact going down the field, and finally a flag comes in on James Romaine.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Out to the left of the screen, running up the wall, and Gilson won't really threaten a lot of people with his speed. But he does run routes with physicality. Running through contact there. It was actually Tyrone Gord.
They're going to let the clock wind down to the 1-minute warning as the play clock and the game clock are literally winding down second for second with each other to the 1-minute warning.
It's an interesting play. You don't normally see a team trying to slow up the tempo in arena football, but I think that's precisely what's happening here with the LA Kids, not wanting to try to, in a hurry-up fashion, go score for score with Philadelphia.
We will step away. The 1-minute timing rules in effect. The Kiss with the football, trailing by a score.
Arena football action elsewhere. Nick Davila, one of his 6 touchdown passes. Rod Windsor caught 2 of them, also had 10 receptions. And Arizona wins again, 6 straight wins, improving to 10-2. Welcome into the ESPN studios. I am Doug Kazarian. Coming up at halftime, we'll look ahead to the big Spokane-Portland matchup, obviously with playoff implications. Also, Max Scherzer with a no-hitter. Almost a perfect game and an incredible round by Jason Day at the U.S. Open. All that and more coming up at halftime. Let's go back out to Ari and Anthony in my hometown of L.A.
Thank you very much. I like that enthusiasm. He was happy we were here.
I haven't heard Doug that excited since we were in Philly talking about cheesesteaks.
Well done, Doug. We're happy to be here representing you. 1st and 10 for the Kiss. And they'll keep it on the ground as they like to take up some time and force Philadelphia to use their timeouts. Now, we get deep into the strategy when we get into the final minute of the half. All about trying to get that extra possession.
I'll be curious to see how LA plays this with their offense, and Pat can chime in here if he wants as well. Strategically, you've got a quarterback who you sort of have to keep safe right now. I'm thinking LA will just continue to run the clock. I don't know, Pat, do you think maybe they go aggressive and try to get a 2-for-1?
You're LA. It's something that you do in arena football. Even though Southwick struggled a little bit, you're at home. The 2-for-1 gets you the momentum heading into halftime against a good football team. So here, you got to go 2-for-1. But I think what Coach Sock is thinking is he just needs to get 6 points regardless of how and when.
Southwick completes, and it is just enough for an LA first down. Tyrone Gord the catch, big target, 6'4", 205 pounds. Had 2 huge touchdown catches last week in their upset over San Jose.
Didn't seem to be urgency with the timeout there.
Well, Philadelphia just 1 timeout remaining. We'll take a listen.
Tell Chad to hold on to.
Hey, Chad, hold on to this one.
So on 1st and 10, we'll see an opportunity for fullback Chad Anderson to carry the football.
You give it to Anderson. Let's get a little nugget on Clint Dozell from Steve Pappen.
Well, we were talking about Danny Southwick and Coach Sock about what they were going to do to 2-for-1, but I can tell you right now, Coach Dozell's not even going to give him the opportunity. He's telling the defensive coordinator, Derek Stingley, press everybody across the board. He wants the ball back. He wants to force LA to take shots to try and score so his offense can have it last before halftime.
Great, but there's that vantage point that Pat has down there. He's standing right near the Philadelphia bench area.
But that formula requires, Anthony, for the sole defense to get beat for a touchdown, because if anybody catches it in front of them, are you saying to just give up? They want the ball, because we're at 38 seconds and they have no timeouts left.
I think Clint is allowing the opportunity for a touchdown, but not conceding it. He's wanting his defensive backs to be aggressive, forcing LA to take a shot, because he doesn't really believe Danny Southwick can defeat his DBs with a deep ball. But it brings the drive to a head, almost like an onside kick.
Yeah.
It will bring the drive to a head quicker than it will if you allow them to run the football or dink and dunk their way down the field.
But there's something that's not for Los Angeles from continuing to run the football or dinking and dunking it down the field themselves. Southwick's going to step up, and he will throw, and Morgan cannot hold on.
It was just a little bit late, Wolf. It was just a little bit late.
Just a tiny bit late.
It was, because he had Donovan Morgan. They did go press on the front side. On the back side of the formation, Donovan Morgan got the free release from the line of scrimmage. Again, Southwick has to move the pocket, though, and so it forced him to hitch the football at a moment where he knew with his eyes he saw Donovan Morgan bring over.
Okay. What is it? What do they got?
Derek Stingley getting an explanation, the defensive coordinator for Philadelphia.
Illegal forward pass, offense, number 12. It's beyond the line of scrimmage. 5 yards from the spot of the foul. Loss of down, third down.
Vantage point up here. I wasn't sure he got across, but the line judge there on the spot.
Go. Tight last left. Wing 90, wing sail, go S post, AJ on 1, ready?
The sail concept coming to the field side.
Not sure what the delay is here.
Philadelphia does want the penalty and the loss of down. It's 5 yards, third down.
Well, makes sense. I got to figure that Clint Donzel's strategy has changed. It's third down now. I mean, you could really get a stop here. There's no reason to, I think, be too aggressive and concede points potentially.
Well, but it's a matter of whether or not Danny Southwick can actually defeat you.
Well, they're going up over the top to Donovan Morgan. Romain was there. Ball comes out. It's going to be a penalty, but not a bad penalty.
Because Philadelphia is out of timeouts at this point, and so if they're going to see the ball again this half, it's got to be their defense who gets it back for them.
Pass interference, defense, number 1. Los Angeles has chosen not to add time on the clock. Automatic first down.
But these are the passes that Danny Southwick will have to defeat. And second half, I think game plan-wise, we may see more and more of it. Go press across the board and see if Danny Southwick, 1, can read the coverage quickly enough, and 2, can put the ball on the money, because again, that's another touchdown opportunity that Philadelphia's defensive back James Romain was able to recover on.
And I want to correct them. They said the penalty was against Kent Richardson. It was not. They keep it on the ground with the big fella. Miles Mason, the ball carrier, the rookie who played his college ball in the Pac-12 at Utah. They had everybody in the building fooled on that one. So Los Angeles uses a timeout. They have 2 remaining.
Well, you've got less than 20 seconds on the clock, and so the LA Kiss are sitting pretty right now. They're thinking in their heads, we've got an opportunity to be the last team with the football in this half and potentially try to tie the game.
And they get the ball at the start of the third quarter. So this could be a nice momentum swing for LA. Keep in mind, they were down 21-7 and things were looking kind of bleak. The drop by Ryan McDaniel in the red zone for Philadelphia really changed momentum in the first half.
So much talent in this wide receiver corps for the LA Kiss. Danny Southwick, and you know his offensive coordinator Matthew Salk, his head coach Bob McMillan, just telling him to protect the football, be a ball control quarterback. That's the direct quote from Bob McMillan. Donovan Morgan, NFL talent with the Kansas City Chiefs, New York Jets, Houston Texans. We've already seen the talent of DeMarco Sampson on display. He's been with the Arizona Cardinals, the Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers. There's playmakers on the outside that Danny Southwick, if he can just get it to them in a ball-controlled manner, this offense can continue to be successful.
And the third wide receiver, Tyrone Gord, is a monster. He's at the top of the screen. He's 6'4". And Southwick, just a quarterback sneak. They want to take time off the clock. Now, this is not the end of the game like we saw with Spokane in their game against Las Vegas, where some people were very critical that Andy Olson didn't use enough time, didn't run enough plays late in the game. They ended up not scoring late. This is the end of the first half, and they're making this 12 seconds. They got time, and you have to be cognizant. You can't assume that you're going to score on the fourth down play.
They've got time with the timeout remaining, and honestly, what concerns me more is the field position itself. Danny Southwick, a quarterback that threw 38 touchdowns and 17 interceptions last season, and the red zone in this area, in the AFL, the red zone is inside the 10, and so now you're inside the 5-yard line, and you've got wide receivers here who won't be able to run the full scope of the route tree. This can be tough doing it, so you're advancing the ball closer and closer to the end zone, where it's more confined now, advantage defense in some ways.
And these rounded end zones can be challenging. See if they go for the end zone here with 12 seconds to go in the half.
65 or wing pylon, T-delay drag. Go on, ready?
In the first quarter, we saw from a similar field position, Danny Southwick throw the pick 6 on an out route.
Southwick to the big penalty, bobbles in, gets in. Anthony Parker, touchdown kiss.
I'm not completely sure if that was a blend of Fred Sanford or Sherman Helmsley, perhaps. Whoever it was well earned. Just a quick slip screen to the tight end. Coming from the backside of the field. The Jack had been leaving the box, helping with the underneath coverage. So Joe Booth be avoiding that zone.
Hadari makes the extra point. Game tied at 28, just 5 seconds remaining in the half. And looks like genius for Matt Salk, but it must say it was a challenging play call to have a tight end cutting across the field, make the catch. And this is not an outdoor tight end. This is a guy who was a lineman in the outdoor game, and here in arena football, Parker able to make the play, and it looked like he had been working on this touchdown celebration. A lot of choreography went into that one.
It wasn't full-on Soul Train, but there was it seemed like a throwback. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it was a la Steve Pappas. I don't know what kind of touchdown dances Pap had going back in the day. I'm going to go maybe a Sherman Helmsley sort of thing.
Did you get the Dade County reference with the area code? South Florida 305?
Ah.
Yes, he's got Dade County right there, and then 305.
Okay.
Represent.
Certainly know I didn't have the opportunity to dance like that after touchdowns at Western Michigan. That's
You don't think as a Bronco he ever got to celebrate a touchdown? Come on.
Not his own touchdown. No. That's a huge play. I mean, he did triple catch it. That's a big moment. Now you have an opportunity for your team to go into the locker room at the half tied up.
I'm sure James Romaine would like to give his team a chance here. Romaine. And the clock expires. First half is complete in Los Angeles. And I think it's safe to say that Steve Pappan's going to have an angry Clint Dozzell on his hands for this halftime interview. He wants a second on the clock, and he's not going to get it. He should have gotten it.
You see Bob McMillan waving his team off the field. Guys, the half is over. Let's go. Clint Dozzell keeping his team out on the field at this point. The chess match. We heard that phrase used by Clint Dozzell before the game.
Clint Dozzell is an outstanding attorney. He might not have a law degree, but he's won many cases.
Well, he hasn't given
and
up
Steve
on it
Pappan
yet.
better start hustling. He's going to lose the coach.
Hey, guys, I was going to try and get Clint, but I got word from management, let him go. He's a little ticked off. We might get some things on a family channel that we don't want said here, so we'll let Clint walk in and calm down.
Fair enough. Let's see here if Clint is justified. When I looked up, I thought there was a full second left.
It appeared so in live action. Romaine.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Romaine catches it clean, advances out of the end zone. The clock should start as soon as he does catch the football. He doesn't need to actually cross the end zone. So whether the clock started a bit late, maybe they're making up for it on the back end, I don't know. But as the play was blown dead.
Now that I saw it, it was the right amount of time came off the clock. It just wasn't started at the right point.
It wasn't started quite on time.
Yes. Well, we're going to have to start from scratch in the second half. Game time at 28. Yeah. Entertaining first half. LA looking for their first ever 3-game winning streak. Philadelphia trying to return to their winning ways. We send it to Bristol after the break. $28 all set for the start of the second half. Can the LA Kiss win 3 straight, including back-to-back wins over the teams with the best records in their respective conferences? Take us through the first half stats, Anthony.
It hasn't been a thing of beauty throughout for the LA Kiss, but the passing yardage, there's an advantage there overall. The red zone, LA 2 out of 3 in the red zone. Surprising numbers, 0 for 1 from the Philadelphia Soul. That's the area of the field where I believe LA will have to make their hay, because Danny Southwick, can he defeat them with the deep ball consistently? Clint Dolezel is going to force him to answer that question.
That is a line drive if I've ever seen one. Works out. LaRon Scott cannot field it, and so it'll be 1st and 10 for the from their own 5 for the LA Kiss. A big end, a chance for the Kiss to take the lead.
To take the lead, you saw what they did last week, and Danny Southwick in the first half, 9 out of 15, 4 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. Ball control quarterback is how his coach describes him, Bob McMillan.
Listen up, Brown right, HL, 50 hits, 8 sail going on, ready?
This was slightly more aggressive play call coming out from the 5-yard line. Sail route, corner could be available.
Southwick going downtown, and Romaine is there, got his hands up. Sampson, the intended target. That ball needed more air under it.
More air, and it's got to come out earlier. The whole process of the drop and the throw need to just happen a hair quicker for Danny Southwick, because he's making the proper read, but his arm strength doesn't allow him to hitch the football slightly and then try to throw it 45 to 50 yards down the field. He's got to see it, and as soon as he hits that back foot, drive the football to the spot he wants it to go.
Catch is made in traffic. James Romaine wraps up Tom Gilson at the 12-yard line.
I think, Wolf, this is a drive that, from a confidence standpoint, is big for the LA Kiss coming out here. You don't want to come out and go 4 and out on the opening drive of the half.
Wide Tampa right, wing loop 30, wing sail, late slant on 1, ready?
Philadelphia's big stop in the first half was a pick 6 by Kent Richardson. Southwick got locked in on one guy, and Justin Lawrence held him up long enough for Teddy Jennings to come in and finish him off. That's like you grabbing me. It's just not fair.
In the first game, returning to the lineup for Teddy Jennings. Able to work back downhill, as you mentioned. Justin Lawrence is now back at the nose position, able to collapse the pocket, and that allows Jennings to come over the top and finish it up. It's a first-team all-arena defensive end, a team record 11 sacks. last season for Teddy Jennings.
4th down, huge play for the Kiss. Southwick steps up, going deep. Can Morgan get to it? No! He was wide open. Would have been a touchdown. So LA, you talk about how important it was for them to come out, and they end up giving it up on downs.
There's opportunities there. That's what Matthew Salk will talk to Danny Southwick about as he gets into the bench area here. The proper read made. Another inaccurate pass from Danny Southwick with his wide receiver running scot-free.
Beautiful night in Southern California. LA Kiss squander an opportunity to take the lead on their opening possession of the 3rd quarter. Philadelphia Soul will have 1st and 10 at the Kiss 12-yard line. Dan Raudabaugh in the first half, not huge numbers, 7 of 13, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns. Marco Thomas in motion. He was quiet in the first half. Set up the screen. Taggart with the catch. Picks up 9 yards.
That's a nice play design. Because the angle of the route, Dan Raudabaugh knows he needs to work to a vantage point where he can get the football out towards Taggart. That's a difference where you hit the receiver in stride and allow him to keep his momentum working up the field.
34 zone, first down, ready.
2nd and short.
Red Rider.
To give to Taggart. And Taggart fights his way. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 1. But now they're all celebrating like they scored. I mean, he was down before the ball reached out.
For live action, it certainly looked like.
I thought the play was done.
Something that maybe it's that lawyer work from Clint Dolezel that you were talking about a moment ago.
I mean, he just flat out didn't get in, but his knee was down by the time the ball gets in.
And the same as the ruling in the outdoor game, whether the knee is down, the hip, the elbow. We see at least the hip is down there.
It's a nice gift to Philadelphia. Give him the touchdown, but he wasn't in.
And no challenge flag from Bob McMillan, because, I mean, if you're getting the ball 1st and goal on the 1, is it worth throwing the red flag in that scenario where you risk losing a timeout? So Coach McMillan elects to allow the call to stay as it is on the field. But as big as that previous drive was for LA coming out of the locker room, missed opportunity there. We'll take another look. Like I mentioned, you know, even if the knee wasn't completely down, but as soon as the hip hits the turf, and now we see the elbow of Tommy Taggart was also down before it crossed the end zone. You know, in theory, you would assume perhaps on the next snap or two, a touchdown may have occurred, but you always want to live to fight another down as a defender. But I believe overall, as far as the game situation goes, timeouts could be very precious later on. So Bob McMillan electing not to risk his timeout in that scenario.
Be sure to check out arenafootball.com for all the latest news and information on the Arena Football League. While you are there, be sure to shop the AFL Team Fan Shop for the latest team gear. Check out arenafootball.com today. LaRon Scott waits deep. Lays it clean, high up off the net. LaRon Scott breaks the tackle. Moves to his left, flag comes in as Freevert gets his 2nd tackle of the game.
There's some fresh legs. This LA Kids football team. So Josh Victorian earlier, LaRon Scott, some very athletic players.
LaRon Scott playing at that Power FCS school, Georgia Southern.
2 fouls occurred on the return team during the return. Holding, number 11. That penalty is declined. Illegal block in the back, number 13. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down, Los Angeles.
You talked about it in the first half. With Danny Southwick, I know Philadelphia is trying to get them to throw deep, but when you've got 2 former NFL wide receivers out of your 3 starters, Why not just get them the football in some space like a running play and see what they can do and take the pressure off Southwick?
Well, it's more difficult with as tight as the Philadelphia secondary is playing to the line of scrimmage, then you're asking for a potential pick six, or you're looking for the receivers to maybe take additional punishment. I mean, we'll see James Romaine how deep he is, but again, press across the board being shown from Philadelphia.
Southwick throws, and then Joe Gooseby, the Jack linebacker, was there, but there is a flag down, and Sampson wants and gets the flag.
Oh, it's open! Matt, what's the play?
It's interference. Defense, number 19. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's a fiat.
He meant to say 18. That's the jersey of Joe Gooseby. Fifth-year man, played his college ball at Tulane. Second on the team in tackles. Always seems to be around the football. You see the penalties tonight. 1st and 10 for the Kiss, trailing by a touchdown.
Go!
Southwick, I mean, Morgan was wide open. It took forever for him to throw.
It was kind of refrain throughout this game for Danny Southwick, and the protection was so solid. And we see Matthew Zog so frustrated over there. He's trying not to blow his top with Danny Southwick, but again, Donovan Morgan
Right there.
evades the coverage at the line of scrimmage. You see him just hitching, holding the ball in the pocket, looking, and as you're waiting for the receiver to ensure that he's open, he's now running into the second level of the coverage. You got to see it. It's got to go out right now.
Go!
Southwick again keeps patting the ball, finally checks it down to Morgan. It's going to make it a more manageable third down. I mean, get into the psyche for me of Danny Southwick, 33 years of age, got this opportunity. He's going to be the starter barring injury the rest of the season. That's what Matthew Salk told me. Why not get out there and play loose, have some fun?
Well, it's one thing to play loose, but it's another to actually be able to execute it at the level that you're hoping to not only see it, but then to take that information from your brain and have your body react to it. That's the most difficult thing. I mean, it's one thing for us up here at this vantage point. We see it. We see the route developing. We see the timing of Danny Southwick when he should get it out of his hands. But you know, Wolf, it's a very difficult task. It's so hard. It's not just the physical part, but the mental aspect.
Illegal defense on the soil, sits up 1st and 10. Morgan's got a step and the football. Touchdown, Kiss. Now there is a flag back at the LA 18-yard line. And it's against Philadelphia.
Illegal defense, illegal twist. Number 13. A penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
33 yards, and that time Southwick didn't waste any time.
The points will stay on the board as Donovan Morgan again, as he gets off the line of scrimmage. Got a defensive back looking to invade his personal space, but Ken Richardson gets no hands on him, and from there, it's a little go long, throw long action for the LA Kiss.
Southwick has it. They'll throw it up, and it's almost picked off by Larico Stevenson. So Philadelphia still up by a point, 35-34, and that missed opportunity there. Don't even get a chance to kick it. Could come back to haunt the LA Kiss. Donovan Morgan putting together a very nice evening. His 3rd touchdown of the game. We are back. Donovan Morgan putting together an outstanding evening. 4 catches, 85 yards, 3 touchdowns. He has made the most of his opportunities. And he needs to go over there and tell his quarterback, throw it out there, let me go get it.
Well, that's what can be difficult is when you want to cut it loose as a quarterback, but Philadelphia isn't going just straight man. There's a bit of flash man to it. And they're also going some cloud coverage, so it's a single high look. And so even when the receiver, like in that last situation where Donovan Morgan seemingly evades the first defender, Danny Southwick having a difficult time determining where that middle safety is going to be positioned.
That's a loose football. And once once it touches the back wall on the kick, the play's immediately different. Ryan McDaniel was there to secure it. And let's go down to the field to Steve Pappen.
Donovan, easy touchdown right there. You're just running by guys. What are you guys seeing in the secondary that's allowing you to get so wide open?
First off, I want to give God all the honor and glory, man. Without him, I'm nothing. But Matt, you know, seeing the defensive coverages, he's calling amazing plays, man, and we just going out there executing. The O-line is blocking well. Danny's putting up a great ball, and we just out there trying to compete, man, at a high level.
I see your leadership skills on the sideline. Your quarterback's struggling a little bit, having some bad throws and some misreads. What are you telling Danny to kind of calm him down and keep him in this ballgame?
Man, as a veteran in this league, you know, before I never knew how to lead. I just knew how to lead myself, but as a veteran, I learned how to lead these guys too, and I just told Danny to stay confident. I believe in him. The rest of the guys believe in him, and let's get to work, and that's what we're doing now.
Thanks, Donovan. Ari, back to you.
Thank you very much, fellas.
I think it's an interesting point that Donovan Morgan made there to Steve Pappen, because he's self-aware in what he said right there. He's been around this league a long time. He's been such a playmaker. He's been in the National Football League prior to that, like we referenced. But he hasn't always been the type of player that can lift his teammates up. We've seen him through struggles this season, through the 0-9 start, continue to play hard, continue to be a playmaker, shows up to practice ready to work every day. He's got teammates now willing to rally around him.
Rodabon goes into double coverage. Well, since you're so good at answering questions, I'll keep them coming. What's happened to Marco Thomas tonight? It's almost been a non-factor for Philadelphia. How does that happen?
Well, the matchup that Philadelphia has really been trying to take more advantage of is when they've been using Harvey Benford in high motion. And the adjustment that Rayshon Kaiser has seemingly made is that he is playing higher now. We saw, especially in the first quarter, some opportunities. They attempted to attack him with the deep ball, and he undercut it, and he played too short with his spacing a bit. He's made some adjustments getting into his pedal early.
Apparently Clint Donzel can hear us. Marco Thomas, his second catch of the night. This is a guy who leads the AFL in catches per game at just under 10 per game.
It was interesting when Clint Donzel talked to us before the game and said that it was just 2 weeks ago that Marco Thomas figured his offense out and really got comfortable.
Lonnie, come flat on the stick. Left hand for 50. Wing set plus.
Rodabon has only thrown for 152 yards so far. If they can't keep going with Marco Thomas. Marco Thomas, and that's underthrown and picked off. Big time return. One more block. Touchdown Kiss. 55-yard interception return for the touchdown. Josh Victorian.
The feisty one himself. Depth in the secondary being adjusted. Walt Hausman, the defensive coordinator for the LA Kiss, keeping his secondary just a little deeper, just a little further back. LA only rushed 3 on that snap, and so the underneath coverage got into the vision of Dan Rodabon a bit. I believe it affected where he was able to deliver the football to, which we could see from the vantage point of the handheld camera. You couldn't really see the depth of the receiver.
Well, it's a good thing that the officiating crew, when Victorian was involved in that special teams little skirmish, we originally were told that he was thrown out of the game. They did elect that it's just a penalty, he stays in the game, and boy, he stays in the game and makes this play. And suddenly the LA Kids have their first lead of the night, 40-35. And Victorian, he looks like he might have returned some kicks back in his day. And Dan Rodabon, disgusted as his team trails. Want more arena football? You don't have to wait long. Tomorrow night in Portland, the Thunder host the Spokane Shock in a Pacific Division matchup. Spokane and Portland tomorrow at 10 p.m. on ESPN2 and watch ESPN. And Anthony's already told us you're flying there on a jet, which is exciting.
I am. Don't know when I'll be back again.
Glad that you handle the singing portion of this duo. Don't want to hurt anybody's ears. Here's a look at the standings in the National Conference. See the LA Kiss, the worst record in the conference, but the top 4 teams get in. certainly well within striking distance. They only trail Portland and Spokane by a single game.
Today's game, while it doesn't affect the conference for the Philadelphia Soul, it's huge when you think about the big picture. You see the San Jose SaberCats there. They came up with their first loss at the hands of the LA Kiss last week. The Arizona Rattlers rounding into form. The Arena Bowl berth will be on the line, and who will host that game will play into who's got the best record.
Radama on time. McDaniel breaks the tackle. And Ryan McDaniel, great effort, gets to the Kiss 15-yard line. 30 yards on the play, Ryan McDaniel.
Clint Dolezel has often described Ryan McDaniel as the team MVP because he can play every position within his receiver corps and do it with such a tenacious effort. He's also one of the bearded wonders on the lineup for Philadelphia.
We have an LA Kiss player down at the Soul 20-yard line. I believe that's LaRon Scott, number 34.
Scott's been a player who's battled injuries throughout this rookie season he's had with the LA Kiss. Came out of Georgia Southern. Spent some time in the National Football League with the New York Giants. Scott's going to come over the top. He's the first one to make contact with Ryan McDaniel. McDaniel's a big guy. 6'3", he's over 200 pounds. Tend to see people bouncing off of him from that initial contact.
Appears he's going to be all right. Good news for the LA Kiss.
Scott battled a hamstring earlier in the season. Coming out of training camp, he had a few other nicks and bruises. We've got some electric athletes in this secondary, and you referenced how few games they've all been able to start, not just together, but just overall throughout the season. A lot of them haven't been on the field that much.
We haven't said the name of Rayshon Kaiser that much tonight, as you see him right there, number 7. Tommy Taggart on the carry. Oh, I thought he was going to make Kaiser miss. And I say this with all due respect to Derek Ross. I think a lot of people thought when they went to Tommy Taggart, they were really taking a step backwards. Really, they've taken a step forward because he can do everything well.
Just such a complete player. You see Kaiser there in the open field, making a tackle. Obviously one of those key cogs that's no longer with the Philadelphia Soul.
Quick hitter, Marco Thomas gets the 6. Touchdown, Soul.
It was really the motion that made this so difficult to defend because of the way that Ryan McDaniel comes across from the boundary to the field side. So the eyes of the secondary fire into the backfield, and so that forces Rayshon Kaiser to hesitate just a bit. Receiver into the backfield. He has to react that much later. Excellent play call, great execution from Soul.
Marco Thomas, who is voted the 8th best player in the AFL this offseason, gets the touchdown, the 2014 AFL Wide Receiver of the Year, and he has picked up his game in the second half. Now 3 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. You see the big smile on his face. He is a playmaker, was with the Iowa Barnstormers last year.
Hey, let's go,
And as we talked about, it took a little while for him to figure out how to fit in Clint Dolezel's offense, understand the nuances, but Clint Dolezel has now given his stamp of approval.
That's not an easy thing to get, especially for quarterbacks. You know, receivers are probably just a notch below on the difficulty scale of Clint's approval.
Seabass Field is the place to be next Saturday as the Jacksonville Sharks host the Cleveland Gladiators. 2 of the top teams in the American Conference will battle for playoff positioning. 7 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. That conference is going to have one very good team not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they're going to look over at the National Conference and say, can I get in, please? Because the National Conference may have the 2 best teams, but the records of the 3 and 4 seeds will not be as good as the record of the 5th seed, most likely on the other side.
Agreed.
LaRon Scott plays it cleanly. Well defended. Outlaw, the first guy down there, number 4. Took out the legs. And it's to Danny Southwick. And the LA Kiss go to work trailing by just a single point, 42-41.
Danny Southwick needs to stay in that ball control mentality, but see the opportunities to strike and take advantage.
Southwick will step up and scramble. And he gets hit pretty hard by Gooseby. Next time he'll know to go down in that situation. He does pick up the first down. You don't often hear about someone describing an AFL quarterback as a ball control quarterback.
And that description from Bob McMillan, as Joe Gooseby able to chase down Danny Southwick there. That description from McMillan of his quarterback doesn't only tell you about Danny Southwick, it tells you a lot about Bob McMillan. The fact that as an Arena Football head coach, he's in that mindset of being able to see a quarterback as a ball control player and be okay with that.
Well, McMillan was the 2013 AFL Coach of the Year in Chicago. They were a ball control offense. Southwick going for it all, and it's incomplete. Romaine, good coverage. And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So about a month ago, when Anthony and I looked at this game, we thought, boy, we're going to have some filler. Not so much. We go to the 4th quarter, just 1 point between the Soul and the Kiss. We're looking forward to the 4th quarter. Do not go anywhere. Can the Kiss make it 3 in a row? Or can the Soul get back to their winning ways? We're coming back, 4th quarter, AFL on ESPN. This Father's Day on SportsCenter, after winning an NBA title, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson reflect on their title run with their fathers. Splash Brothers and Fathers, a Sunday conversation premiering all day tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. Lots of kids here, lots of dads in the house. Staying up late on a Saturday night, even by West Coast standards, 8 p.m. kick.
AFL After Dark. Let's start the hashtag.
Southwick gets it to Sampson, wrapped up. Kent Richardson, nice tackle.
It's a deep secondary when you think about the Philadelphia Soul. I mean, Kent Richardson was the defensive back of the year in the Arena Football League just a few seasons ago before he went to the National Football League.
It's so deep that they felt they could get rid of Rayshon Kaiser, who many people believe is the best defensive back in the AFL. That's depth, my friend.
No doubt.
Go. 3rd down. Southwick, nice touch, finds Donovan Morgan. That's well executed.
It's one thing for me way up here. It seems that Danny Southwick has settled in. I mean, still not playing the perfect quarterback in the AFL. Some throws are still late. Some of the reads are just a bit off. Accuracy is inconsistent, but he looks comfortable. You want your quarterback to look comfortable and to be able to exude confidence to the team in the huddle. I feel Danny Southwick has done that more and more as this game has progressed.
Southwick with time, now losing time, and he'll get wrapped up. Ted Jennings back in the lineup, gets the sack.
Another big play for Ted Jennings. And Steve Pappen, you've been down there. You've seen it a lot more closely than we have. What's been your sense of maybe the growth and maturation of Southwick throughout tonight's game?
Well, I think the problem that he's having is it looks to me like Philadelphia's playing a lot of double cloud or one double, and he's having problems reading where Romaine is coming off to which receiver, if it's going to be the guy running up the wall or the post route. And right there, I just think he got confused with the secondary and then heard the footsteps and wasn't able to get out of the pocket.
Southwick, and Donovan Morgan had his man beat, and there was some miscommunication.
And Steve Pappen, I mean, you obviously were in huddles with people like Mark Grieve and some of the great quarterbacks, but in the huddle, when things aren't going well, how do you battle against the frustration?
Well, to be honest with you, for the most part, it was us that was frustrating Mark Grieve and John Dutton. I mean, I've had the opportunity, like you also said, I also played with Aaron Garcia, and Aaron Garcia is different. He's going to put you in place, whereas Mark Grieve is so calm and cool that you kind of want to pick your game up to get him out of a rut.
He played with some great quarterbacks. Hall of Famers. Sure to be in the years to come. And Danny Southwick, that is very dangerous, but it works out. It gets him back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down. Do you consider a field goal here?
Bob McMillan would certainly consider a field goal because that's who he is as a coach. I like going for 4th down here. I think the offense, while you're not clicking on all cylinders, I think it makes sense in this situation.
But also, you got to figure if you don't get points, even if Philadelphia scores, it's still a 1-score game because you get a touchdown to 2-point conversion.
Quick out of there,
4th down. Southwick throws, looking for Morgan, almost picked off. The sole defense gets the stop. And James Romaine saying, I should have picked that off. I'm going to knock out some push-ups. That's commitment to excellence, James Romaine. So the Soul clinging to a 1-point lead as Romaine almost got the interception, but his team gets better field position because he doesn't. Welcome back, 1-point game. Honda Center, Anaheim, California. Ari Wolf upstairs alongside the one and only Anthony Herron. Downstairs we have our man Steve Pappen. How about this? Philadelphia Sports last 3 seasons sold by far the best winning percentage. But know this, my Eagles don't be thrown off. 3 years ago, 4-12. 2 10-6 seasons under Chip Kelly. The Eagles are back.
Oh, they're back, are they?
Yeah. Well, from the 4-12. I mean, now we're a competitive team. Come on.
All right, yeah, they're back from 4-12. I agree.
I mean, you know, they're in the mix. They're fun to watch.
Were they in the playoff mix last year?
They were. They did not make it, but they were in it till the last week of the season.
Well, I guess when I use the term mix, that's sort of what I was.
Yeah. I mean, all right.
Yeah.
They got to get better in December.
It's more so giving you a hard time. I do agree with the Philadelphia Eagles have played good football the last few years.
Rodabah looking for McDaniel. This ball's way overthrown. But McDaniel didn't run the right route. We're seeing some frustration from Dan Rodabah. We haven't seen much of it this season. He's had so much success, but he's dealt with some adversity tonight.
Well, what we've seen tonight is the MAC linebacker, J.T. Gilmore. He's continued to bring the power rush. They ran the MAC O stunt there, and as he came around, he was able to just collapse the pocket, get into Shannon Breen. And so we haven't seen them sacking Dan Rodabah, but the pressure in the interior, especially coming from Gilmore, has affected him in the pocket. And they picked their spots to only go 3-man rush. They haven't brought Gilmore every snap.
Rodabah, and that was on Marco Thomas so fast Marco couldn't make the play. That action bringing the receiver along the sideline has created opportunities in the middle of the field.
Certainly has, but it's just about Philadelphia taking advantage of it. Ball's a bit behind Thomas, but it hits him in both hands. So you're wondering if in his periphery, does he see the black jersey starting to flash across his face? Hearing a bit of footsteps. It's a grab you got to make.
3rd and 10. Lots of movement, and it will not be a free play.
Offside defense, number 3, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
They could have called it on Dillon, which they did. They could have called it on Gilmore. Pretty much the entire defensive front from the LA Kids jumped off sides that snap.
Other than you were a couple inches shy, were you built like a Mack truck like Antron Dillon in your playing days?
Similar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Rodabah, McDaniel makes the catch. Rayshon Kaiser the tackle.
There's some frustration there from Radabot with the length of time it's taking for the route tree to be completed for the Philadelphia Soul. Rayshon Kaiser hasn't made a big play yet. He's given up some touchdowns, but he's given up touchdowns all throughout his career. But the chess match that he and Clint Dolezel were texting about during the week relates to Kaiser making that signature play in the game. Haven't seen it yet.
Radabot finds Outlaw. And it's going to be 1st and goal at the 2. And it seems hard to please Dan Radabot right now. 1st and goal is not good enough. He said, Mr. Outlaw, get in the end zone.
As feisty as his head coach is, we've seen, especially this season, Dan Radabot become a more feisty leader as well, really expecting a lot out of his wide receiver corps. There's always creativity to the way Clint Dolezel finds angles to get his smaller receivers open down here.
Marco Thomas, great play fake from Dan Radabot, touchdown Soul.
Speaking of creative ways to get wide receivers open, the action in the backfield, drawing the eyes of the linebackers and the secondary. Just a play fake there to Taggart. And when that play fake happens, you can blitz the additional linebacker. You can blitz the secondary, but the ball's out of his hand so quickly, it doesn't matter. And that's what frees up Marco Thomas.
Extra point is up, and it is good. The lead is 8. 7 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the 4th. So Los Angeles needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. A nice little play fake. Don't see a lot of him in the AFL. And Thomas, his 2nd touchdown, both coming in the 2nd half.
Creativity on display from Clint Dolezel in this Soul offense. Rayshon Kaiser biting on the play fake. That's what frees up Marco Thomas in the back of the end zone. Just a quick movement there. The ball handling ability in the backfield from Dan Radabot. We were just talking about the Philadelphia Eagles offense. You're going to see a little bit of that from Marcus Mariota. And, well, we used to see that from Marcus Mariota in that Chip Kelly offense. You still see it now some for the Eagles as they work that in.
Sam Bradford, if you're watching, our apologies to you. You are, in fact, the Eagles starting quarterback. But Mark Sanchez says it's an open job. Onside kick. Saul, go and get it. Joe Guzman. So an 8-point lead and the football. And Clint Dolezel. Little trick up his sleeve. No one expecting it right there. They get the onside kick.
Offense directly back onto the field. Ball has to carry 10 yards for them to field it.
That's perfect.
Most certainly over 10 yards. And Gooseby, who Clint Dolezel calls the best athlete on the team, able to go into the air and attack the football to bring it down for his team. Got a great block there from the Rico Stevenson.
Joe Guzman. What a nice career he's put together with the Philadelphia Soul. Played in multiple Arena Bowls, hoping to get back to another one this year. And there's still a lot of football left to be played. It's getting closer. You start to think about teams jockeying for position, because keep in mind, the team with the best record when we get to the Arena Bowl will host. Soul with 2 losses, Arizona 2 losses, San Jose 1 loss. So every game counts going down the stretch. Even though Philadelphia knows that they'll probably have home field in their own conference, the question would be if they can emerge to the Arena Bowl, will that game be in Philadelphia or on the West Coast? Radabot, Marco Thomas, nobody near him. And Thomas into LA territory, out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Gain of 14 as Thomas has really put together a strong 2nd half. Now 5 catches for just under 70 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It got to a point where he was targeted so frequently in this offense. The numbers have been huge in recent weeks. They've been big throughout the season. They've become huge in recent weeks for Thomas. It's even a moment like that where his athleticism is off the charts, but they're willing to use him as a safety valve as well.
Red.
Radabaugh, time, looking for Thomas, he can't get to it. We will take a look at the media poll, the top 5. SaberCats, even though they lose last week, managed to hold on to the #1 spot. Arizona 2, Philadelphia 3. Just to be transparent, since nobody ever says how they voted last week, I did vote Arizona #1.
Ah, voted the Arizona Rattlers #1.
I did.
Wow. I assume that has a lot to do with the Latin laser.
Exactly has to do with it. As soon as he comes back, they're the best team in my estimation in the AFL until they don't win another championship. They've won 3 in a row.
Well, it's interesting, I mean, that you mention it that way, because how do you see your poll? Do you see it as the team you expect to win the Arena Bowl, or do you see it as a team playing the best football right now?
I guess I really feel like it's who do I think is the best team in the league at that time. And I think right now Arizona has enough of their weapons back that they are the best team in the AFL. And we're going to see on July 31st, when Arizona goes to San Jose, they'll decide it on the field. That should be fun. Marco Thomas, he has been the go-to target here in the second half. Now 7 catches.
Well, you've outed yourself for your media poll vote. I wonder if Steve Pappin will give himself up later, too. I wonder how he voted.
Well, you know, his allegiances are somewhat different. He played for a long time for San Jose. If he did vote San Jose, I don't know if he wants to publicly admit that.
That's a valid point.
Yeah, he's in a different position. No need to be transparent, Steve. Keep it to yourself.
So you don't have any concerns about anyone in Philadelphia being angry at you?
Not at all. I'm a neutral observer at this point. Marco Thomas, one-handed snag.
The anticipation is what's separating the play of Dan Radabaugh from where Danny Southwick is in this game, because he knows where Marco Thomas will end up. The ball gone from his hands immediately once he sees where it will open. He's not throwing at the point that Marco Thomas is open. He's throwing when he sees that he will become open. That's when you hear the term throwing receivers open. That's what commentators are meaning when they describe that.
Extra point is up and it's good. And suddenly it's 56-41. Still time for Los Angeles. But can they come up with the big plays? Can Danny Southwick bring back the kiss? Or is their 2-game winning streak in jeopardy as Radabaugh, perfect touch. Marco Thomas brings it in. Arena Football on ESPN is brought to you by the Citi Double Cash Card. Great shot looking over the Honda Center. June gloom gone in Los Angeles this weekend. Must be because Anthony Herron's in town. Chamber of Commerce just thrilled that you're here.
Shouldn't they be?
Yes, that's why I'm bringing it up. I mean, Big Ant comes to the West Coast.
I'm thrilled to watch LaRon Scott off the net here. He's taken 2 to the house this season.
Can have a chance here. And LaRon Scott is tackled and wrapped up at the 2-yard line. Steve, what do you got?
I'm here with Marco Thomas. Our buddy upstairs, Ari Wolf, said we hadn't called you that often in the first half. Second half, it seems like it's the Marco Thomas show. What did you guys see at halftime that's made it become your show in the second half?
Man, Coach is doing a good job, calling the game. We really didn't have too many opportunities in the first half to kind of get some plays for me. But in the second half, defense been doing a good job, and so we've been able to march the field.
Now that you guys have taken a lead, do you feel like there's some confidence in your team now to help the defense get a stop here to get this win, or are you guys just taking care of business as usual?
Man, you know what? Actually, the defense started it off for us. We came out, they got the ball first, and so we asked the defense to get us out for us. And the defense been doing a good job, and we've been capitalizing on offense.
Thanks, Marco. Ari, Ant, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. The numbers on the night for Marco Thomas. Boy, after having one catch in the first half, he's come on strong.
I'm really curious if Steve Pappin opened his vest right now, what the tie would look like, though. I mean, Pap's looking good. I had to go back to it. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot going on right there.
He wants to know
Check out that
basically
tie.
how much tie is left after the start of the vest.
Check out
America
that
wants
tie.
to know.
Yes.
That's a good knot, Steve.
Is that Paisley?
He's looking good.
Is it velvet? Beautiful.
Danny Southwick didn't feel like that play was so beautiful. He did pick up some yards, but they needed to start working with a sense of urgency here. It's just a 2-score game.
You know, we got 50 plays, wing post. Okay. Spin it if you can. I mean, if it has to be. Brown left, bring up 50 plays, wing post. Come on, ready?
Third down. Again, they are taking a lot of time off the clock here. Southwick completes it. Sampson has the first down. All right, now there's 1:52 on the clock when the play ends. Let's see when they get to the line of scrimmage.
And really, if we could just revisit really quickly, because it's just more missed opportunities from Southwick, where there's an opportunity here. He sees the one-on-one matchup. He knows his wing receiver, Donovan Morgan, is on a post. As soon as that double cloud look shows to the field side, he knows he can just throw it to the middle of the field. And Donovan Morgan will be one-on-one to go get it. Just a misread from Southwick.
Sampson makes the catch, gets a block, and gets inside the 10. If they move quickly here, they can get a play before the 1-minute warning, but they got to go. 1:10 and counting. And it does not appear that they're going to run another play.
It seems that maybe Bob McMillan, Matthew Salk, they know it's a 2-score game. You'll get multiple possessions, or at least you can in the final minute. I don't know. Maybe they don't feel that their offense, led by this quarterback, can quicken the tempo too much and still execute.
We take a break. 60 seconds to go in this one. Danny Southwick, Matt Suck trying to draw up some plays for the comeback. Want access to every AFL game at once? Of course you do. Go to arenafootball.com and click AFL Live for an online broadcast of games around the league via the ESPN3 video player. Or if you're on the go, download the Watch ESPN app to your mobile device and keep up with AFL action as it happens. I can virtually guarantee you, if Sid Bonner is not near a television, he's got his ESPN3 watch.
Oh, sorry.
He's got it on, and he's watching this game. He's watching Danny Southwick. Scramble. By time, and he throws that one away. I've never seen anybody use the ESPN3 video player to watch arena football more than Sid Bonner.
He's always on it. And actually, Steve Pappin was talking to us about it earlier in the day as well. His preference to watch arena football on that Watch ESPN player, more so than the National Football League. I mean, it's obviously a fun game, and the streams throughout the league are always available online. And just as a side note, that hashtag I mentioned earlier, AFL After Dark, it's not trending yet, but it's getting some traction.
Is it? Good.
Yeah, it's getting a bit of
I like
traction.
that. I like that.
On the Twitter.
Sampson tries to spin out of trouble, and what do you do here? Are you going to use the timeout? Yes. So Los Angeles has 2 remaining timeouts.
Well, right now, I mean, 53 seconds remain. You know, with the 1-minute timing rules, the ball is in position to stop once you're back out in the field. But here, you have to be thinking end zone. Danny Southwick has to be benevolent with the football. Give it up to any receiver who's in position to try and score a touchdown.
Tomorrow night, ESPN2, more arena football action. Spokane Shock, Portland Thunder, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN2 and Watch ESPN. And if you tune in, you get to see Anthony Herrick and Sid Bonner in the same place, same location.
And the Wolf himself.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go there, but thank you for including me. Appreciate it.
Will it be late enough in Portland for us to try and continue the AFL After Dark? Really get that hashtag going?
Well, I think once it's past midnight on the East Coast, you're in the clear.
It's a fair point.
Fair point.
Yes.
Somebody works often on the West Coast. We do an after dark thing at one of the other networks I work for. We're like, as soon as it's midnight in the East, it's after dark here. It's, you know, it's a whole new place.
It's going to be a fun game tomorrow, especially with the quarterback position between Spokane and Portland. Some question marks there being up in the air. Two defenses that love to get after the quarterbacks.
He throws it up, and Rico Stevenson, he hold on to this football. He's got it in his hands, and they're saying, no, if it hits off the top of the back end boards in the end zone, it's immediately ruled incomplete. So
That's exactly what the back judge was motioning there. That it did hit the top of the board. Derek Stingley's over there confirming with the back judges, making sure why they're taking it off the board.
That's a great call.
It is.
He kind of just was rolling it up to himself, which on the sideboard would have been fine, but not on the back end of the end zone.
It's not allowed to trap the ball against the top of that board. And at this point in the final minute, any replay review, any challenge would have to come from the supervisor officials on location. The coach cannot challenge in this scenario. But if any challenge or review came in, they would stay with the call on the field. It would be confirmed.
I've never heard that the official who's here at our game site is on location. You make it sound more like a vacation. Sounds nice.
On location?
Yeah, I mean, when you said, you know, the head official on location, it sounds better than, you know, he's up in the replay booth. He's on location. Sounds like, I'd like to be there too.
That's life in the AFL.
Well, the geography of the teams in the AFL certainly makes for some long-distance travel. But well worth it. So you living in the middle of the country in Chicago, it's easy for you to sample all of America.
Fourth down, fourth down.
Well, John Love, the referee, just informing us it's fourth down. It was a bit anticlimactic from all the meetings that took place on the field. But Mr. Love is accurate. It's fourth down.
Southwick throws it in, caught. Donovan Morgan, one-handed snare.
Well, Danny Southwick was almost benevolent to the wrong colored jersey on a previous snap, where Stevenson had an opportunity for the INT. Here, throwing it into traffic, Donovan Morgan doesn't declare completely open from the angle that Southwick had to deliver the football, but just made a phenomenal grab, as he has come accustomed to doing.
Extra point is good. It's a one-score game. 42 seconds remain. Onside kick will be next.
Donovan Morgan is kind of a cross between Odell Beckham Jr. and Darren McFadden. I mean, he's built more like Darren McFadden, but we always see the one-handed grabs that New York Giants fans saw last season from Odell Beckham Jr.
Donovan Morgan is going to enjoy that piece of tape you just that comparison. He may just edit the whole game down to that.
It's another big night and another big season for Morgan.
A huge season.
Folks got to watch it play out on AMC last season with the frustration, how everything took place.
And that last touchdown made some history. He is now tied for 9th all time. Mike Karachek, Corey Fleming, and Donovan Morgan tied for 9th all time in AFL career receiving touchdowns.
He's got strong hands, and he's also got quiet hands, the ability to attack the football with his mitts, snatching it, tearing it away from defenders in certain situations. So this, of course, key moment for the Los Angeles Kiss. And that man right there, look at that punter, Bob McMillan. If he had any fingernails remaining, I'm sure he'd be tearing them off right now.
I'm a little surprised Donovan Morgan isn't in the game on this play. Here comes the onside. It's a slow roller. Philly had to wait, and Outlaw recovers. Now, the team with the lead in the final minute cannot take a knee. They will need to get forward progress. Now, there is a flag down at the 6-yard line.
It's easier said than done, but Andre Hidari's got to get that ball 10 yards. It's oblong, and so, you know, it's not like he's kicking a soccer ball where you can just easily judge the distance, but that's just not a well, and by the formation, you could tell they were expecting the high hopper, but he ends up dribbling the football across the field instead.
I think he kind of whiffed it.
Illegal block by the kicking team, blocking prior to being eligible to touch the ball. Number 2, that penalty is declined. First down, Philadelphia.
And again, no, you cannot take a knee here if you're the Soul. They have to pick up at least a half an inch. And that will be enough to keep the clock moving. Los Angeles, no timeouts. Oh, check that. They do have timeouts remaining, which they will abuse here.
Unless they get a tackle for loss.
And Taggart picks up forward progress. Now we're down to one timeout. If Philadelphia can execute this twice, we will have our final score. Interesting tiny little nugget here, though. If it comes down to point differential for seeding for the Arena Bowl, do you tack on the extra touchdown for Philadelphia?
If you thought you were really going to be that close to San Jose, it would certainly be
Or
worth it.
they'd be very close to Arizona. Let's keep in mind, they're in the mix too. San Jose has a bigger point differential, but Arizona does not. You gotta remember, Arizona can still beat San Jose.
This is true.
So then if you're Philadelphia, you think maybe we need one more?
I didn't get the impression from Clint Dolezel that that's how he was seeing this game, but if I were him, I certainly wouldn't mind doing it. I've been on both sides of blowouts and touchdowns that maybe do or don't need to be scored. Doesn't bother me one bit. I'm not a proponent of...
You've been very clear on this since we became friends. If you're the defense, get a stop. If not, score all you like.
It's that simple. It's my job to stop you. It's your job to put it in the end zone, and never the twain shall meet.
Again, it's Taggart, and I'm not sure he got forward progress. They are going to say he did, and LA will use their final timeout. That was close.
It was very close. I really wasn't certain he got back to the line of scrimmage. I mean, Tommy Taggart
changed the dynamics of the game significantly.
Checking out some of the scores from around the Arena Football League.
How about Tampa bouncing back after a couple of weeks where it looked grim?
That's
for
who they
Lawrence
are.
Samuels.
That's who the Tampa Bay Storm are. You know why Derek Brooks and Lawrence Samuels can be frustrated at times with their lineup. They look great. Sometimes they look like a team just struggling by.
Now, Arizona wins by 20, but the more important question is, I want to know about Kevin Guy and Rob Keefe. I heard they had an interesting conversation. I'd like to get the transcript of that.
Well, speaking of Twitter, there were a few GIFs out there. Now, you're not on the Twitter,
Yes.
so you don't know what a GIF is, but there's some images out there of the two coaches getting a little chatty towards the end of the game.
Now, two very successful coaches. I wouldn't put Rob on the level of Kevin. Rob does have one title. Kevin has 3. But both of them can talk their way out of any argument in America.
And they don't mind talking their way into any argument either.
Into, out of, you name it. They can get it done.
Well, two coaches on the field tonight, both already in the Hall of Fame as players. Clint Dolezel gets the best of Bob McMillan here, but we see an LA Kiss squad that appears to be turning a corner. You know, this is a team that's playing much better football over the last few weeks than they have at any other point throughout the season. This wouldn't have been the monumental upset like they had last week over San Jose, but it would have been a game where they went in as the underdog, and we saw another quality performance.
Well, this was fun, Anthony. Final thought?
Well, looking at the Philadelphia Soul, they're a team who appears to be now a well-oiled machine, but the LA Kiss will have something to say about the National Conference playoff picture.
Ton of fun on behalf of our entire ESPN crew, my friend Steve Pappin and the one and only Anthony Herron. I am Ari Wolf saying so long from Anaheim, California. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Spokane and Portland, ESPN2, 10 p.m. Tune in. More AFL action tomorrow night. Take care, everybody.